The United States played a significant role in ending legalized slavery globally through various actions and influences. In the early 19th century, a strong abolitionist movement grew in the United States, advocating for the end of slavery. Figures like Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, and William Lloyd Garrison were instrumental in raising awareness and pushing for abolition. The conflict between the Union, northern states, and the Confederacy, southern states, from 1861 to 1865, known as the Civil War, was largely driven by the issue of slavery. The Union's victory was a critical turning point in the fight against slavery. During the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, declaring all slaves in Confederate-held territory to be free. This shifted the war's focus to a fight for human freedom and prevented European nations from supporting the Confederacy. After the Civil War, the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was passed in 1865, abolishing slavery throughout the United States. This was a landmark moment in American history, legally ending the institution of slavery. Following the abolition of slavery in the U.S., American diplomats and activists exerted pressure on other nations to follow suit. The moral and political weight of the U.S. stance against slavery influenced global attitudes and policies. The U.S. used its growing economic and political power to advocate for the end of slavery in international forums and bilateral relationships. The United States was involved in negotiating and supporting various international treaties aimed at ending the slave trade and slavery. For instance, the 1885 General Act of the Berlin Conference included provisions against the slave trade in Africa. As the U.S. emerged as a global economic power in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, its anti-slavery stance influenced international trade policies. Countries seeking economic ties with the U.S. were encouraged to adopt similar policies. After World War II, the United States played a key role in the creation of the United Nations, which included human rights as a central component of its mission. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted in 1948, called for the abolition of slavery and servitude. Through its abolition movement, legislative actions like the 13th Amendment, and diplomatic and economic pressures, the United States contributed significantly to the global abolition of legalized slavery. Its role in international treaties and the establishment of human rights norms further solidified the global stance against slavery.